Hi traders, Joseph here from ACAP. Today's market report, we've seen just a continuation of the current roller coaster that continues to be the phase one trade deal between the US and China. Every time there's some good news, we see risk jumping up and gold down, and every time we see some bad news, we see risk down and safe haven and gold up. This has been really the continuing phase. It was a continuing phase overnight, so there's now worries that the phase one part of the trade deal will not be signed in 2019. Now this did set off a couple of little firecrackers. We can see now in front of us now in the AUD USD there's some pretty heavy selling overnight. This also led US stocks lower and has had pretty negative impact on Asian stocks today. So going on to stocks, so we've seen the ASX is fighting back. We'll just have a quick look at it. We can see there it is fighting back from earlier session lows. It was 0.7% lower. The Nikkei was 1% lower, and Hang Seng, trades one thing, but the real problems that the country is facing at the moment in terms of social unrest is still really unsettling the markets, and the Hang Seng is down 1.66% today. So we can just see this fight back that we're seeing at the moment, and whether this holds out or not, we'll have to wait and see. It's the same story in the JPN 225. We saw that at one stage it was very strong move down at this point in the day, and we'll just have a quick look at the Hong Kong 50, which is the Hang Seng. It's a similar story. There's been a bounce after some very strong selling earlier in the session. So moving back to some of the key movers overnight, the dollar CAD has just been non-stop star basically for a couple of really for 4 weeks running. We've just seen some strong moves, and it's been supported by dollar strength, CAD weakness. Oil's another one influence that's been in the mix, and we've just seen buyers continually flocking back to the dollar and selling the CAD. It's trading at this morning we tweeted about this. We're seeing hit new 4-week highs overnight, but we are seeing now that it's hit this point here of resistance. So this is where we're going to see how much momentum buyers really do have in the tank. And if we see a clear of this level, we're starting to see moves not seen since mid-year in 2019. We'll just have a quick look at oil. Oil bounced back sharply overnight. That was after the previous session before, where we saw heavy selling, which was trade related, and which is again on oil demand. Oil again is really just in no man's land right now. The ranges are very wide. We do have a trend break, but we have seen this really sharp pullback now. Today price is slightly higher. We just have to wait and see if this is actually a true trend break, or if it's just basically going to be a new demand point that's been fed into this level. So if buyers are able to break this point, it's quite bullish. If we see a fail up in this area and then a new continuation lower, again, it's looking like sellers remain in control. But until some real clarity hits on the trade phase on the trade deal, you would want to be a little bit careful in trying to work out the medium term of where oil's going. So some bit of a tricky market basically right now. One interesting market that we saw today, and it is early because we're in the Asian session, but after a bit of a drop last night, the pound really fought back, and we can see that's after we broke this point here. So there is a new short-term uptrend, and what we're seeing today is sellers have been rejected, and we are seeing some new buying at the moment. So early days, possible continuation is forming here, but we will have to give this market some time and see how things go into the London session, because things can really change in the London session. Some of the moves you see in the Asian session can be trimmed quite heavily and reversed. So we'll see what happens into tonight's European session if buyers do continue higher to retest this resistance up at this point here. So moving on to key news coming out tonight at 11:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, we have the ECB monetary policy accounts, and And later on, quite late, well, basically early tomorrow morning at 12:40 a.m., we have the Bank of Canada pilots speaking, and that could be interesting based on how the dollar CAD's going at the moment. So that's it for now. We hope you have a fantastic day and enjoy the rest of your trading week. Thank you. Bye.